So busy. It's all good. It doesn't really matter because we don't talk about our time to release them until the last one in January anyways. So, I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. I don't know what's going on.
Both of them,
No, just all the executive.
Just wipe it out. I'm starting to really hate Mondays.
I think hopefully the worst part is
you gotta start the week sometime.
There's so much jams together.
worst part of the week, I should say.
What do we got? 5:59.
No attorney.
He's on his way, come on. He's still got a little over 60 seconds. There he is. You still got 30 seconds.
Nailed it.
Still,
parking lot.
still
I
got
didn't
28
think we were gonna
seconds.
have a quorum.
It's cold.
How are you, Rich?
Hello, how are you? Cold.
How's it going, Pat?
Chicago, it was freezing up there.
6 o'clock. Let me know whenever you're ready. How are you?
I'm ready.
You ready? All right, everybody ready? I'd like to call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Cullinan.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Moyle. Here. Curran.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, number 4, public comment on agenda items only. Seeing that there's none, we'll move on. Number 5, approve minutes from December 1st, 2025 regular meeting. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 1st meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle. Aye. Curran.
Aye. Number 6, approve minutes from October 6th, October 20th, November 17th, and December 1st, 2025 executive session. My understanding is we need a little bit more time to review some of these. I don't think it's a big deal because I think it's the last meeting in January is when we sit and discuss to review them anyway. So unless anybody has any other corrections or anything they'd like to add on it, we can, I don't know if you guys want to just table them for now.
That's fine.
I'll make a motion to table the minutes from October 6th, 20th, November 17th, and December 1st.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle. Aye. Curran.
Aye. Number 7, approve bills presented for payment in the amount of $867,133.92. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the bills?
I motion that we approve the bills in the amount of $867,133.92.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle. Aye. Curran.
Aye. Number 8, approve payroll for December 5th, 2025 in the amount of $74,289.50. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the payroll?
I motion we approve payroll for December 5th, 2025 in the amount of $74,289.50.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle. Aye. Curran.
Aye. Number 9, old business. A, property tax levy. Cullinan.
Yeah, so just to go back over this again, we talked about it, we placed it on file at the last meeting, but sat down with Treasurer Paul Danicus a few weeks ago, and we talked about the levy for this upcoming year, 2026, and what he kind of put together was a decrease in our tax rate from 2.12336 to 2.04932. Even though there would be a decrease in the tax rate, there would be an increase in the amount of revenue we're collecting. I think it's about $81,000. And this is attributable to an increase in net assessed valuation. The value of properties as a result of recent assessments throughout the town was, they were higher. So we'll be making more because of that. So we placed this on file at the last meeting, and we just have to approve it tonight.
Sounds good. Go around the room. Moyle,
Nothing to add.
McDermott,
Nothing to add.
Baldridge.
No.
Yeah, the only thing I have is just that I think we're under, what is it, 4.98%, and I can't remember how much the rate went down, but the actual rate is decreased just because of, like what Cullinan said, the values have increased. So if there's no other comments, if we can get a motion to approve it.
I will motion that we approve the property tax levy for 2025 through 2026.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. B, 2013 tax levy abatement. I think that's, I don't know if I like the way that's labeled because that's from the bond issue time and stuff like that, but Cullinan, go
I
ahead.
think it's a little bit more Pat's wheelhouse. He was the one that brought it up. My understanding of it's somewhat limited, but
So back in 2013, the council at the time enacted a bond levy ordinance for just a little under $2 million to do improvements in the city, I think. I believe it runs through 2027, the repayment schedule. You have a repayment schedule this year. I didn't pull that out, I should have, it's here though. Scheduled from that ordinance in 2013 of $167,820. That amount would be extended by the county clerk on top of the levy you just approved if you don't abate that 2013 scheduled levy to repay that bond. According to everything they've always done over the years, they set up a fund, they put user fees in that fund, the money is there to repay the bonds with interest every year. And so the council every year has abated the levy that was put in place in 2013 for each year since then. And this would do the same thing again, so you wouldn't be adding that 178 on top of the 80-some thousand you increased it already today. And hit the residents with yet another tax that is already on the books, but if you don't abate it, they're gonna levy it.
Sounds good.
So to be safe to say we're kicking the can down the road? Is that
No,
what we're doing?
no, because you have user fees and you're paying off those bonds, Rich, and in 3 more years, it'll all be paid off without you ever having to do anything. And hopefully you will be able to abate it for the next 3 years too. Cause every time you get money in for, I think this was for sewer primarily, I wasn't here then. You know, those user fees are set aside in a separate fund and they're used to pay back the bond interest every year and the principal on it. So, no, you're not kicking the can down the road at all. You're just you're just eliminating the levy that was put in place in 2013 or the taxpayers would get hit with another huge tax.
So it will be paid off in 3 years
Yep,
doing this? Okay.
yep. I can show you here if you want.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
We'll go around the room.
Do you know what the
Moyle?
interest on it each year is approved?
I don't, but let me see, Rich, I have the schedule here.
We'll go around the room. McDermott, do you have anything on it?
Well, I'm interested in seeing the paperwork. Pat's.
So they're not broken out, Rich. This year it's 167,820. Next year it would be 172,270, and in 2027 it would be 171,270. Again, I anticipate we'll abate those for the next 2 years. The bonds and interest will be paid off in full without any more taxation to the residents.
And then this thing's
That's
completely
always a
done.
good
We're all,
And it'll be done, unless you put another one in place. You used to have several of these bond ordinances in place, but 2 of them were paid off a couple of years ago, and this is the last one that's still there. And traditionally, we've abated every one of them every year.
Okay.
Well,
Anything else?
Sounds like a good idea. I think we should go ahead and pass it.
We've done it every year, so.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no other comments, if I can get a motion to approve the tax levy abatement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the tax levy abatement.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Good questions.
C, IPWMAN, I I can't remember what the IP stands for, Illinois Personnel, so this is a policy that we kind of have in place. It's an agreement that we can allow to send workers to somebody else to aid, or we can request aid. I've only ever seen it used very few times. Matter of fact, we gotta make sure that you guys have the access, because I think I used to get a monthly, like, emergency update, just to make sure that everybody was still on the list and stuff like that, so.
Have you seen this used, or you saw the IMEA one used?
I've seen both. This is a formal form. You know what? We talked about last time, I forgot to send it to you. Send to Rich and Mac.
Okay.
I'll find the old messages I got on them, and I'll send them to you so you can see what the format is. They basically go per region, so like a call will come out that'll say, this region here, Region 7, needs a generator. If you have this kind of generator, we need this kind of dump truck because of whatever emergency or something like that. Most of them were either too far away. There's only a few times we've ever responded to them in the past. So the only time I think that I can remember using it was for the sticks and twigs or something like that on Head End Highway Road, when we had more than our street department could handle with all the debris from the derecho. Those are the only times I remember it. So this is just an update to that agreement. I'll go around the room if anybody has any questions, concerns.
None.
Nope.
Moyle,
No,
McDermott.
it seems like a pretty decent idea.
Baldridge.
I mean, if it's just a gentleman's agreement to where we help each other out and it doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, I would agree with it.
Well, it's more than a gentleman's agreement. It's similar to the IMEA agreement, to where it says that if we utilize them, we pay whoever it is at whatever their agreed rate is. So like, for example, if we bring somebody in, like, you're familiar with the IMEA, if we bring somebody in from a different IMEA city to help with stuff, like, we pay them at their rates to help us get us through whatever the emergency is. And that's all this does say. Same thing on there, that we pay whatever their agreements are.
Yeah, I'd agree. If we need help, we need help, and I would agree that we should be paying for help. But if we're
Right.
sending our guys somewhere else and incurring cost, I wouldn't agree with that. So
But we get
if
paid for
each
that.
town is paying that, I would agree with it.
There should be a record
Should
of
be
that. The
pretty
last
good.
couple times we've sent somebody somewhere.
Yeah, I can look it up and
We
I'll-
put up like a billing thing, we invoice them for whatever the rate is and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I'll look that up and send it out to you guys.
okay. If there's nothing else, am I get a motion to approve it?
Make a motion to approve IPWMAN.
And I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. 10, new business. A, discussion and possible action on 2026 insurance renewal. Well, probably not possible action. I think we need to renew it, so. Moyle.
So first of all, I want to thank everybody who served on the insurance committee, and I think it was a really great idea. And if you recall, the insurance committee was made up of union members, non-union members, retirees, anybody that was blatantly affected by our insurance policies and our decision. And ultimately, they did review all of these, and they did it within 3 meetings, so they were very thorough. And their recommendation was to renew the current insurance policy that we have and switch the, am I saying this right, the HRA
Yep, switch
to UHC. And then they wanted to also switch the dental or the vision?
the vision to
Vision.
Delta Dental, and then dental stays with UHC.
Okay. So that was their
Vision,
recommendation.
the Delta Vision.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Delta
You
Vision,
got it
sorry.
right. Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. We'll go around the room with any other comments. McDermott?
No, I don't have any.
Baldridge?
I just appreciate everyone taking a look at it.
I would ditto what Rich said.
Yeah, no, it's always been a difficult thing. You know, costs always go up every year, and the council's kind of slapped with making a terrible, kind of a quick decision, because obviously we can't get together for regular, just shoot the breeze sessions to really go through all the details. So a lot of times we're kind of slapped with the idea of trying to resolve it at the council level. So getting a group of people together, not just the union workers and the non-union workers, but we have elected officials on there, and then we have subject matter experts that are residents as well. So I think it's a great idea to get people together. They can have a conversation about trying to make the best out of a terrible decision of what we can do. So if there's no other comments or on that, if we can get a motion to approve
Do-
the recommended.
Do we have to do 3 separate motions? One,
No, you can do it.
okay, just blanket motion to approve their recommendation?
Right.
Okay,
That's what I go with.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation from the insurance committee for insurance renewals.
I'll
Second.
second.
Roll call, please.
Either one.
Baldrich.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. B, set meeting schedule 2026, current. So, so what we've done the last couple years, there is a few holidays that are on Mondays that either the city hall isn't open or students, the schools are closed or something like that, that we used to have meetings for. And it was kind of a difficult pain in the butt thing. And the other one that we used to modify is not having, the council meeting directly after Fun Fest. This is the unique year, 1 out of every 7 years. It'll just land naturally. So this one does not have to be modified for Fun Fest, but the other, I believe it's 3 holidays, is that correct? And we have the list there. So anybody has any corrections? I mean, don't get me wrong, if there's other days we can modify, I know of at least one conflict I'm gonna have with my job, but that's not really the same thing as a holiday. So, if anybody else has anything else to add? Go around the room, Colin?
Is there like a list of the dates?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was in the
packet.
drive.
I
It should
saw
be in the
it,
drive.
There's 3 of
okay, I
them.
might be
Yeah.
I think
missing
it's
it.
Martin Luther King Day, I don't.
There's one in January, there's
I
one in
just-
February, and one in like
Yeah, I
September. Oh,
see,
September,
I see
yeah.
the conflict dates and the adjustments, I just didn't see the full calendar, but,
We do
I'm not
have the
sure.
opportunity to change it.
yeah,
run.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
big deal.
No, it's not, but this puts out the ones for the known year and stuff like that. We can always modify things further if we want, but at least the list that people are scheduled around is good, so. Well,
I'm no problem with moving them for a holiday.
okay.
And no problem, I understand that if we need to, we can always adjust them later.
Yep, Aldridge?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
A concern that was brought to my attention by a resident, and I frankly agree with them. They had suggested that we stream all meetings, not only city council meetings, but also board meetings. And I think that's a good standard practice. But I also know that it's difficult to get people for boards, and if that's gonna be an issue when it comes to getting people, I figured it was something that warranted a council discussion and then ultimately a consensus for us to come to. Because I think I've heard things both ways before. So, I mean, my personal recommendation is that we do stream all these meetings. But, you know, I can understand why that might be a concern. So I'm just curious what everybody else thinks about it.
Okay, well,
I would appreciate them to be streamed. I mean, if I'm unavailable or, I mean, during the week and if I have childcare issues, I can't always make the plan committee meetings. It would be nice to be able to review them later at my leisure. I'm not against that, but I also see your concern where people may not want to be on camera.
McDermott?
I agree with Moyle. I have no objection to streaming them, but you may have some people that don't want to be on camera.
Aldridge?
Again, it's not set in stone here. I think we should go ahead and try it. The issues that he has concern of, I believe as well. I don't see anything that we can't implement that we couldn't take away or
Sure.
change on the fly either, so.
So, when we first started this administration, that was my intention anyways, is that we were gonna stream every single board meeting that we have, whether it's insurance, I won't go through all of them, planning, all of them, right? And then I had some resistance that not every member of every board wanted to be on camera. So, you know, you wanna respect the residents that are out there, cause you wanna respect good help, but keep in mind, these boards do serve the council. So what I think I'd like to do is when we ask people to serve boards, I think from this point forward, the question needs to be asked, are you okay with being on a camera? Cause you're gonna, I mean, you're already speaking at a public thing here like that. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be streamed on a camera. I think that should be kind of a requirement. I don't wanna, I mean, don't get me wrong, if all of a sudden we make that requirement and all of a sudden we don't have enough people to fill boards, that's a problem. But that's how I'd like to kind of move going forward, cause I do believe that if you're representing a public board, I mean, now that we got technology, you can be at home and you can still see what's going on with the zoning thing, a plan commission thing, or whatever it is. We have the technology, so, that's kind of my thoughts going forward. I mean, I don't wanna say which specific boards, but I remember we go in there and we're like, hey, we're gonna put this on, or we don't wanna do that. I think it's a
What
bit
if
of an
we
issue.
just did audio even?
We could do just audio, that is
Yeah.
an option.
That might
I
be a
mean,
good
I
idea.
don't know, I kind of think that it should be uniform across the board, but that is an option. Maybe if we run into that issue that Rich was kind of talking about playing it by ear, maybe that's one of the things we can do, is if we encounter that much resistance, maybe we can just do
We may not
audio.
have a choice. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
the issue of either they're not gonna be on video or they're not gonna be on the board, I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to make a decision, so.
I know, I just feel like that should have been a question maybe, and that's on me then for not asking. I never thought that would have been an issue. So I didn't ask those kind of questions when I'd ask people to be on boards or we approach them or something like that, but I think that needs to be an issue. So maybe we'll put something out to all of our board meetings and ask who has a concern with that. I don't wanna put that as a, we're
As a
gonna
deal
replace
breaker?
you necessarily, I don't wanna be rude, but, they do serve the city council, so, if that's something that's important to residents, I think that's something that we have as an important feature of our members wanting to accept that, so. Let's have that conversation, let's put something out to all of our board members and see if there's any pushback or what we can do about that. Sound
But
good?
as a, just kind of moving forward, we're gonna go with stream meetings, and if we hear any, we'll field feedback, but that's gonna be the plan moving forward.
So that has, and it has been for some of the boards that we've done, there hasn't been issues. Like, I don't think there's anybody that's on the plan commission that's had an issue with it.
Mhm.
But I won't mention some of the other boards, but they don't want that.
Yeah.
So, gotta go from there, so.
Well,
All right, anything else?
that's the understanding I'm gonna work under, is we're gonna stream everything, and if we hear,
I think it would be
Yeah.
good if that were formalized in a
Yeah.
motion for the minutes, so.
Gonna have to formalize it.
So,
Jen has to go back and look at it.
sure.
Now that he mentioned that, I do agree with him that there, I forgot about the one group that, said that they did not.
I know,
want that,
and that's the
so-
thing, and they're, keep in mind, they're not, and don't get me wrong, they're not difficult people. They're really good people for the board that have really, taken a lot of, good recommendations and thought about things deeply, but, you know, if this is the next transition, I don't wanna force people out. So that's, I don't know if I feel comfortable making that motion there. Why don't we just, let's inform our board members that that's gonna be the plan going forward here, and if they have an issue, I'd like them to respond. There's another thing I wanna do as well. I think there should be a thing about email. There's been a couple, board members that say they don't wanna communicate via email. Well, this is 2025. If this is the best way to get a hold of people, that's the easiest way to do things, so, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you should probably go as far as a recommendation. I forgot about that, and I know it would be a huge issue, and
I
you'd
know.
probably lose that board, so.
That's why I say it. So why don't we, so how about, instead of making a motion that we're going to force stream meetings, we're gonna reach out to every board member, let them know that's gonna be our plan going forward. We'd like to know feedback of who's having some issues with that.
Okay,
And
I
then
can do that.
we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Make a motion to,
Wanna make a motion to send,
I don't think you need to
do
do
we,
it.
we actually need
Let's
to
see
do
what
that?
Jen hears and.
let's
Yeah.
circle
We
back
can
on that.
circle back next year.
Okay.
Favorite time this time of year.
D, discussion and possible action on Fiedler/Walter variance, Cullinan.
Deferring to Jen on this.
Yeah, so, the zoning board met and they spoke with Mr. Fiedler. He was here. He had put in a driveway and it ended up that between him and his contractor, they weren't really, nobody came and got a building permit, and it ended up that his driveway was not in, our requirements. So he came, he spoke, and the committee decided that his variance should be allowed, because he really didn't know, and it doesn't actually affect. They said that usually the reason is they didn't want it so wide the driveway is so wide at the street, but because of the size of his lot,
He
it's
has
not a big
two
deal.
lots,
Yeah,
actually.
he has 2 lots that his house sits on, so it doesn't look like there's too much cement or anything up there. It's just a driveway, basically.
Okay.
So the zoning board unanimously
Mhm.
approved,
Yep.
recommending to you that you grant the variance for his driveway.
Yep.
We'll go around the rest of the room. Do you have anything else?
No, I'll defer to them too.
Moyle?
It says in there while charging a penalty, is that something that's normally,
Yeah.
is that laid out what the penalty amount is?
Yeah, so the penalty is half the price of the building permit. Our building permits for what he was doing is $25,
Oh.
so he'll be, yeah. So the total he has to pay is $37.50.
And he was
So,
more than glad to come
yes,
out
and he
there.
was totally okay with that.
Okay.
And we are also sending an email or a letter to the contractor, because it's a local contractor, just to make him aware that, hey, make sure you have a building permit, basically.
McDermott?
It sounds like everything's properly taken care of.
Baldridge.
In the future, could we just possibly get a little bit more information on it, like a picture or a street address or even a street where it's located at? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a huge difference if it's Columbia or Walnut or if it's down behind
This is on
Cookie
Oakwood,
Kingdom.
I think, Rich,
Yeah,
Okay.
out in the new subdivision.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. My thoughts are, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Always getting more information is fine. Important thing to me is that the board recommended approval and it was unanimous. It wasn't a split decision or something like that. So again, I've said this before, we can go against a board's recommendation, but I think there's been a total of one time that's happened that I know of in the last 7 years. So, all right, if there's no other additions, comments, if we can get a motion to approve the variance.
I'll make a motion to approve the Fiedler water variance.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Hi. E, discussion and possible action on Girard Variance. Cullinan.
Okay.
Back to me. Okay, so Samantha Girard came in. She was here a few months ago asking for another variance that she was granted. This time, she's building a garage in the back of her house, and she wants to have a second story so she can put in an apartment, basically, to add more to the city for that, but it would go above what the current height recommendations are. She came and spoke with the council. She kind of let everyone know, and in fact, there were some neighbors here that asked some questions. She has already taken into account privacy and is doing skylights and a rectangular window up at the very top to let light in, but nobody will be able to see any of the neighbors from up there. There'll be a staircase on the outside. It's like 650 square feet or something. It's not very big. But the committee, again, unanimously decided to let her have it.
Yeah, and the variance is from 15 feet, a building
Yeah.
can only be 15 feet high at its tallest point in that particular zoning district, to 21.
21 and a half, I think she asked for
Yeah.
22 total
Yeah.
feet, so it's just an
I think
extra
I threw that
7
number in
feet.
there when I published that notice, because I looked at her plans and it was 2111, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
According to the builder,
Mhm.
so I suggested 22
Yeah.
feet. And the neighbors didn't have any complaints about it, once their concerns
Yeah.
were addressed. The variances she got 3 or 4 months ago
Mhm.
were for this same structure.
Mhm.
She tore down a garage, a shed, and I think a deck in the backyard to make
Mhm.
room for this, so she didn't exceed the square footage area requirements in that district. So she's putting a 2-car garage with a little apartment up above that
Mhm.
she's gonna maybe rent out.
Yeah.
You said we have talked about this before, correct? It's all sounds
We've talked
familiar.
about it, but not in terms of the variance for the height. It was
Mhm.
variances for other things
Yeah,
in
that's right.
Constantly, I don't remember what those were.
I feel like
It was for, I believe it was for the
Driveways.
size of the cement or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but nobody seemed to have any concerns about it, and she's ready to move forward
Mhm.
with her builder as soon as she gets this variance.
Cullinan?
Nothing.
Moyle?
No.
So
McDermott?
from now on, the variance will go up that high for everybody else involved? or
No, just
this
for
one?
this one particular project, each individual landowner would have to request a variance for their property and submit
Okay.
designs, Mac, for whatever they wanna do there, so that you can look at it and see whether you think it's obnoxious or something, you know?
Yeah, as long as everybody's aware of that,
Yeah.
Baldridge?
I can
Uh,
understand.
I heard that the neighbors did come to this and addressed any issues, and they seem to be okay with it. I'd like to give her the permission to get moving on it.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, neighbors don't have an issue, board recommended, and I think it's pretty cut and dry. I am kind of curious about the specifics about that it's only 15 feet's the maximum. Is that for what's zoned there, or is there
Yeah.
a different thing?
That's for the zoning district.
Yeah.
That's
For the district.
Yeah.
Maximum height restriction in that district.
Yeah, she did say while she was giving some information that there are other buildings in that vicinity that are above that 15 feet and they don't look out of place or anything. It just all kind of
What
flows
zoning
along.
district is that offhand? I'm just kind of.
I'm-
R2, I think.
R2, so R2 is different, okay. I'm just kind of curious
Mhm.
how that's zoned, that, running into that
It's just
issue,
saying
so.
there's-
Okay, not a big deal.
Taller.
If there's no other comments, if we can get a motion to approve the variance.
Make a motion to approve the variance for Girard.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. F, discussion and possible action on culvert under Ed Hand Highway and installation of new pipe at manhole outlet. McDermott.
Okay, we were looking at this, everybody's got their paperwork. there's more discussion on maybe looking at the county for some help, so I'd like to table this until the next meeting. We have to get it done because it's getting pretty bad.
Okay, go around the Aldridge.
If I could make a suggestion on that, I would like to also look at performance pipelining to see, since you're planning on already pipelining some of it, lining the inside of it, I think it'd be in our best interest to possibly skip that part of it, have it bored out and lined.
I will definitely look into all options.
Cullinan?
Don't know enough about it, I'll defer to them.
Moyle?
I don't know much about the construction. I was asking Mac prior to the meeting, because I'm just not sure, maybe someone just knows offhand, for budgetary concerns, what is the, like, maximum before you're required to have 3 bids? Is it 20?
It is.
Okay. Is,
Yes.
if being this is emergency, that wouldn't put us,
That does
That's-
create an exception if you
Okay.
want to seize on it, yes.
okay.
So I was just seeing the pictures right before the council meeting for the first time here, so what I'm curious about is what is the speed that we need to act on this? You know, the pictures look pretty terrible, but I don't know what that means. I know the culverts, like for example, that we had on Clark and Hickory were failing for a very long time, and we were able to kind of push those off until we got everything done. I have no idea, so I think we should probably get.
Well, the curb and everything on the one side is falling down.
Well, I think it'd be a good idea to get an engineer to look at it to let us know what the speed, because here's the thing.
Right.
If somebody was to tell me that Ed Hand Highway could collapse at any second, if that was the thing, we should approve something tonight.
Don't say that.
But I doubt that's the case, and I say that because the other one's took years to fix. And the other point with it is, we got our bridge, taken care of 80% of it, the cost, because it was something with the Snow County route or something like that. I was able to petition, to the county. So because this attaches to that, I think they have some kind of responsibility with that as well. So it'd be good
We're
to
gonna try.
check those things out, see what funding is. So I think we need to find out the speed. Is this super important? I mean, if this is crazy important, we can do an emergency meeting, meet back here in 48 hours and approve whatever we need to approve.
I haven't laid eyes on it, just so happened we're gonna have one of our structural engineers in town tomorrow, so I'll definitely get it on his schedule to take a look and just get more eyes on it and
Yep.
determine, like you said, the timeline.
So that'd be my recommendation. If it is an emergency, I'd start mobilizing things for it, get everything lined up, and then we'll come back and just approve. We just need 3 of us, any 3 of us to be here, open meeting, closed meeting, approve it, be done, if that's the case. So I would check out speed that we need to act on it, funding for it, and then if there's another thing
Yeah.
that Rich knows something about, that
Yeah.
we can look at that might be better. All those things, plan of action, moving forward. I know, nothing like trying to come up with
Do you,
things on the fly.
do you see, would you wanna have that at the next meeting, or do you think it should be?
It's just hard to say. I mean, I think you should plan on just tabling it until your next meeting, but we'll take a closer look at it and, get back to you guys if we think, one, if there's any funding possibilities. I think that's unlikely. If the county would help out,
Right.
but we'll definitely.
No, we gotta look at all the options.
And then just, we're afraid that,
Right.
if it fully collapses and catastrophic.
And my understanding is
like-
water is still flowing, right? It looks like it's just rusted from above and a lot of the rock has fallen down. So, how long ago was this discovered?
2 months ago.
Okay. All right, well, let's move action on it as fast as we can.
Okay.
Anybody else has any other comments? If not, we can just table it.
I make a motion that we table the, action on the culvert for under Ed Hand Highway.
Second.
Roll call,
Thank you.
please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Cullinan,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Moyle,
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. G, discussion on aeration tank foundation. McDermott.
Okay, I sent everybody the email. At the wastewater treatment plant, we had a little issue, and the best way to do it is let Ross talk about it. He's there every day, okay? Thanks, Ross. Appreciate it. Brand experts.
Okay, so Ross Baker. So I'm assuming everybody's seen that email. If not, I can give a brief description of what's going on. So in general, we're making good progress on the wastewater plant. Visring's doing a good job. If you've driven past there, you've probably seen that there's a lot of work that's been moved around, which was kind of the first big task. And then Visring over the past month and a half has gone to work on the aeration tank, which is the largest structure on the site, kind of crucial to the treatment process. And where that tank is located is on the north side of the site. So if you remember where the old barn and abandoned house were at, it's on the slope right below that. So they cut into that slope at the deepest point about 25 feet. And so they got down to the elevation, the subgrade for the tank, and about 80% of it was sand, which is what we expected from the boring that was taken, and then shale underlying that. Except at the south end, basically this portion was underneath the steep slope that used to be there. Between 10 and 20% of the footprint of that tank, we found some bad soil, silty soil that the concern would be differential settlement. So basically, that sand would settle at a different rate than this silty soil, and silty soil is, it settles a lot more over time than that sand would. So you can have cracking or just different shifts in the concrete. So we got our geotech and our structural engineering team involved and looked at it up, down, and sideways every way you can. And the best solution that we came up with was to physically remove that bad soil, and replace it with clean stone that can bear the great weight of the concrete and the water in that tank that'll be there long term. So obviously, geology-wise, this site varies a lot, and so of course we would have loved to have caught that, but it changes so much in short spans. So that's just what the case was. So really there was no other way to move forward other than to remove this bad soil. We looked at raising the tank, we looked at pile foundations, anything to try to deal with the issue as cheaply as possible, and that's what we settled on. So Vissering did go ahead and move forward with that work. And so the change order amount that's gonna be required as a result for that specifically is $116,919, mostly in the additional excavation and all the stone they had to bring in. You'll notice in my email that they also found a pretty large cistern, so it looks like there was a small well back in that area and they actually stored water in it. And so that had to come out too, and that created a void where more stone had to go back, so that's part of the cost as well. In the change order, I'm not sure if that was sent around or not. We have kind of quantities of the work that Vissering did, and you'll see there was also some small costs for additional dewatering because they had to excavate deeper than the plan called for, and then some minor costs for rental of trench boxes. So that amounts to that. Additionally, we had a small deduct. I wish it was larger, but there is one structure that we were able to save a manhole, and we're not going to have to put a new one in to replace it. So that'll be a deduct of $4,090. And so this is where Mayor, you want to talk about it more, or even you, Pat. So based on the borrowing ordinance that the council approved for this project for the loan, there is contingency involved, and the borrowing amount is greater than what the contract cost was. So purely from that standpoint, my understanding is nothing has to be approved by the council, but Mayor, obviously you just thought it's a very large cost.
So my thoughts were, even though it's within the contingency amount, I mean, it's $100 grand that somebody's signing for. So I just wanted to let the council know that and then see what the council thought about that, because my thoughts are, as long as it's within the contingency amount, Mac looks at it, he's good with it, he comes to me with that. I just want to keep the process going, because I'm sure anytime you have a very large project like this, you're always going to have change orders. I just want the council to know, though, and my thoughts are, this is the opportunity for council to say something, but I'm thinking as long as it's within the contingency amount, if everybody's on board with it, engineer recommends, the commissioner wants it, we just sign it and we move on.
And it is, this one specifically is something where, I mean, that is the bulk of the work they're doing right now, so any delay that we create as a result delays the entire project. It's part of the critical path to completion. So there was some delay just in determining the best structural way to go about this, but that's the reason for the urgency.
So that's why I think talking about it now, if these kinds of things come up in the future, we can just move quicker on this, because change orders, I don't know, in your experience, how many change orders do you normally see when you see a $27 million project?
I mean, it's one of the larger projects we've done, so it's hard to estimate. It really varies. I wish there'd be maybe 2 or 3 on this project. We may end up with 5 or 6. But we're always, looking for ways to also save. And so even sometimes some of the small adders and small deducts can kind of cancel each other out. That's one of the realities, and that can help limit the number of change orders that have to go through. But especially on a challenging site like this, where if you've been back there, it was a forest and it's a ravine essentially. And so the ground does change quite a bit, and nobody has x-ray vision. But obviously, once things are discovered, we always, put our heads together and say, how can we pivot to, make this as efficient or economical as possible. So,
I'm understanding that this is completed already?
It
Moved
is.
on?
It
Okay,
is.
so,
Let's go around the room here. Cullinan?
Well, it's already completed, and it doesn't sound like we have much of a choice anyway, so.
Okay. Well,
I agree. As far as the process, I do like being informed on it. I mean, this is a really large project in the city of Oglesby. I get asked about it. What's the progress on it? I mean, even if you are approving the change orders, like any hiccups, maybe just for transparency purposes, just let us know.
Well, I
That
think
way-
that's important. I think that should be in the commissioner's
Right.
report. My
Wow.
thing is, if
I
it's
was
within the
gonna put it.
contingency
Right.
amount, move forward with it. Now, if it's outside of that, like all of a sudden we have something that's what is the contingency amount maximum?
$681,000, I believe.
So let's say we have $900,000 change that needs to come.
Mhm.
That's beyond the contingency amount. We need to
And
have
that has to
a
be
meeting,
approved. That would
put
be-
something together, go
correct.
from there. Got it.
Correct. And I'm happy if you want me to give updates every so often, or if there's some big step that was completed, or I'm happy to do that. It's totally up to you guys. If that's something you're interested in. I'm here every meeting anyway, so happy to talk about it.
McDermott?
Well, I was gonna put this in the, commissioner report, but it's always good to bring it up.
Baldridge?
what, you said the contingency was around 681,000, we've used 116,000 with a $4,000 refund on the other manhole. Do you foresee, how far along are you on the project?
So they're, timeline-wise, obviously they started late summer. We're looking at completion summer of '27, so we're only, 3-4 months into that year-and-a-half project, almost 2-year project.
All right.
But a big chunk of the cost is up front, where not only it's all the earthwork that they're doing, it's also all the equipment submittals. So there's quite a bit of equipment involved with the wastewater treatment plant. A lot of that has been ordered, some of it received, where sometimes you're paying storage on some of those things. So it's hard to say dollar amount, but if I had to throw something out there, 10 to 20% of the way done, probably 10 to 15% total. So I see what you're asking, and obviously the math is like, okay, if we continue on that trend. But luckily, once we get through kind of the underground portion, that's where a lot of the volatility is you just don't know what you're gonna find underground in every place on the site. So that's one way to look at it, where you would expect a major kind of structural concern to be found early in the project. But change orders can happen anytime. And so obviously, once again, that's why we're constantly out there observing the work and record keeping, so that we see what happens. It's not just the contractor's work. Vistron does a great job. Not that I don't trust them, but we're obviously always watching over their shoulder. So.
I'm no professional or engineer or anything, but you said that it was basically fill or whatever that had come down there, and do you have any concern? It seems like since it was on that hill that it probably was a drainage issue, and the filament had got built up there. Do you have any concerns that we need to reroute anything, or?
No, I mean, there is a pretty extensive like stormwater collection plan. That is one possibility, is there's also a lot of groundwater on that site,
Yep.
which you'll see if you go out there right now, which we were aware of. There is the potential for, as we see exactly where the worst seams of water are coming in, rerouting some of that, not necessarily adding, but just reconfiguring to most optimally capture all that water. But yeah, I mean, that silty sediment, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it was deeper in the ravine, so it makes sense that it was, we're getting, the excavation was shallower there, so it was closer to the existing ground surface. There's more likelihood for silty sediments to be gathering there.
Yeah.
But, we have different structures throughout the site. And really that one is the deepest excavation, like I said. So I'm optimistic that we won't run into the same issue, but it is the site. I mean, that's the low part of town. That's
Yep.
where the sewer plant has to be. So it's kind of just the reality of it.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Right. No, thanks for that explanation. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ross.
Anybody else have any?
Thank you very much.
All right, that was just a discussion item, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that.
We're not approving it.
So, Mac, as long as you're good with whatever things for contingency, we'll just move on, and if you just want to update the council as things happen, we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Sounds
as
good.
always.
All right, H, discussion and possible action on returning oversight of the building and electrical inspectors to electric commissioner. Baldridge.
So those aren't aware, when we first got in here, Commissioner Stefanelli had a lot of experience in the Inspector Field, he was a professional inspector. At that time, I was willing to give it to a professional inspector. But since he's gone, I have talked to Commissioner Cullinan previously, and I'm in construction. I've been in it for over 30 years. And I think that the qualifications there should probably, would come to me next. I would like to retain that inspector role there, the oversight of the inspector, not the inspector.
Okay, we'll go around the room. Colin.
Okay, I have a little bit of a thing written up on this. I'm not gonna take a firm stance on the merits of the proposal, but I do want to provide a little bit of context to ultimately describe what led it to being placed on tonight's agenda, and I think Rich told me something a little bit different. So on October 6th, after prior discussion at the August 4th and September 2nd meetings, the council passed an ordinance which established a fee for any letter sent to someone in violation of a municipal building zoning code. On November 20th, Mayor Curran sent a follow-up email to the city council regarding what progress we had made on a number of prospective violations of the aforementioned codes. At the December 1st meeting, Mayor Curran went over his email, omitting the specific violations, but nonetheless seeking to ensure that there was a consensus behind the original plan. Prior to Mayor Curran reading his email, I asked Commissioner Moyle the same question that was posed to the council. I had assumed, mistakenly, that the prospective violations listed in Mayor Curran's email would have been the responsibility of the police department, which is under Commissioner Moyle's supervision, as opposed to the building inspector, who is currently under my supervision. I had again, mistakenly, thought that things were that were clearly visible from the street and obvious to the average person would have been the police department's authority. I assumed from previous conversations that it was more the building inspector's job to deal with the inside or the structure of buildings, basically stuff that wouldn't be obvious to the average person on the street, something that would require additional expertise. I was incorrect in this assumption. I suppose I hadn't listened intently enough to previous meetings. After meeting with Mayor Curran on this past Thursday, he had brought up the topic of code enforcement, to which I had responded, oh shoot, yeah, I need to follow up on that. While following up on another issue discussed that night, I added by text to our building inspector that he should watch out for a meeting invite that night. That meeting invite was then sent at 11 p.m. I suppose I should mention what the meeting was about, or the prospective meeting, the meeting that I was supposed to schedule was about. The meeting was supposed to lay out each person's responsibilities, how we were to go about documenting violations, and the fact that whatever decision our decision makers made, we would stand behind them, which up until this point has apparently been a cause of concern. Nothing ever really had to be done to let the decision makers do their job, but just to tell them how to do it, and again assure them that we have their backs, which I'm sure we all do. Yes, I could have worked quicker and more diligently on this matter, though. I don't disagree with that point. I also, frankly, and I've talked to Commissioner Baldridge about this before. We have talked about this before, just not recently. I also, frankly, don't really have a problem with Commissioner Baldridge having authority over the city's inspectors, as he probably does have he absolutely has more expertise about this stuff, over this type of stuff, or at least I'm sure buildings than I do. And I told him as much when I came in office. What I do have a problem with, and why I will vote against this proposal, is that Commissioner Baldridge waited until Friday to place this item on the agenda and said nothing to me about it. It took a text message to him, which to his credit, he did answer very swiftly, saying, it's what we discussed months ago, hasn't been acted upon yet, so now it is. I have an issue with that, and I also worry about the precedent such an action sets, which is, again, why I will be voting against this proposal. But just the process, not necessarily the idea.
Okay. Moyle?
There is a third inspector, right? That is under
Plumbing.
MAC.
There's a plumbing inspector.
There is not a
Yes.
plumbing
That's not-
inspector?
Yes, there
It's not
is.
under
There
Mac.
is, but
Who's he
Oh.
under? He's 100%
no,
under
he's
Mac.
under me.
He was never changed.
It's never changed.
I thought
The
I
only,
was the only one
I'm not
that
sure.
the only
agreed to
reason why
give
the
up
electric
inspectors.
changed was because of Stefanelli's expertise in the electric.
I have to check that. I don't think that's accurate.
I'm positive it is.
Okay.
Well, my intention is, I don't think that has anything to do with your ability to do the job or anything like that, but I don't understand, and I wasn't here during the time, why it switched to Tony in the first place if precedent had always been under the electric commissioner or Public Works. I assume when you were in that position, you had control over them? No. So when was this changed?
What are you asking?
So the building inspector and the electrical
My
inspector.
understanding is they've always been under the Commissioner of Accounts and Finance, because, I'll wait to put my comments before. we go
I
on.
think I was told that at one point it was under the mayor.
Oh.
That could have been the, I'd have to go back to find out exactly what it said. I don't remember that, but okay.
Which one, Aaron? Both of them? All three of them.
Even the plumbing.
I'm telling you, that plumber is not under Accounts and Finance.
Anyways.
It doesn't, it's not
Anything
mentioned.
else? McDermott?
Well, I think it should be under the electric department commissioner. No, none against you, Austin, and it should be under each one's department's heads and the commissioners. That way they can keep track of it and try to get a better understanding.
Okay. Paul, do you have anything else?
Yeah, as we've kind of noticed lately here, the past few months and that, you kind of have a
Yeah.
problem here with communication as well. I didn't really get the gist of your long explanation there, or whatever it was. Probably because of the fact that I didn't know much about any of that stuff, like, nothing really about any of that stuff. So, it did not factor into, hold on, I'm talking, please, just 1 second. I don't think it factored into it because I'm the one that put this on there, so I know it didn't factor into my decision to put that on there today. I decided to put it on there today because I noticed that the electrical commissioner and the electrical inspector, or the building inspector, of what, 2 months ago, was brought to my attention of other issues, and I realized then, like, if we were looking for a school teacher, we would probably look for a school teacher and put you in charge of something that would relate to teaching. If you have somebody that's on the council that has more time in building trades than you have lived, I would assume that I should probably put my knowledge into that. I think that would be a smart decision, but if anybody's got any other ideas otherwise, then so be it.
Okay, so, a couple things. I first found out about this on Friday. My understanding is that the inspectors have never been in the department commissioner roles, ever. And I think if there's some confusion about what the building inspector does and what the electrical inspector does, the building inspector has nothing to do with public property or public buildings, right? The electrical inspector has nothing to do with what the electric department does, not their substations, not the high lines, not the power lines. Everything that the inspectors do is related to what happens on the private property through the building permit process. And I don't remember if it was with the mayor in the past. I don't recall that. But if we did make that change, it was probably to put it to accounts and finance. We did a lot of things that we moved to account and finance, and I was on board with that. As I've said in the past, one of the things that was a real, and Tommy and I got along with it, but the person that was in charge of utilities was responsible for negotiating the payment concerns of any time somebody had a problem paying one of their utility bills. If you can't see that there's a massive amount of problems with that the department that's gonna collect the money and do the billing and stuff like that, but it's a different commissioner that has to negotiate it, that was one of the things we changed. I don't have any issue with the building inspectors being under the finance commissioner for that one reason. To your point about somebody having some kind of skill set or expertise, that's great if somebody has another skill set, but that's not how this form of government works, right? The person that's put, I mean, if you're the best person for that, that means you should be the finance commissioner. I have a lot of skills and a lot of other things too that are other than just mayor. Does that mean everything should come to me if I have a deeper skill set and knowledge in that? No, that's not how our form of government works. I don't have a problem if commissioners want to work together on things, though, but to me, the oversight of the inspectors needs to be with the building permit process. Has no value being in the other commissioners, stuff like that. Now, you made a mention that this is based on the violations thing.
No, I did not.
I wrote it
He
down.
did.
Somebody, okay, well, I don't know who did, but somebody made a mention about the violations thing. I brought up the violations, was it the last meeting or the meeting before? It might have been the meeting before last. Because I know we finally came up with something put in place, and I haven't seen a lot of action on it. So I basically put something out to the commissioner, say, hey, where are we at on this? Trying to get an update. My understanding is, you got two commissioners that agreed to try to get together and see if they can solve this issue. My thing is, I'd rather give them that opportunity to see if they can solve that between the departments. When they said they were gonna try to do that, before we try to change any kind of, oversight of inspectors in the middle of a change. The plan that they come up with, we might find out it might not work. We might have to go back to that other thing that I suggested, to where, like Ottawa and Marseilles does, to where they actually have, a zoning enforcement officer, right? I think that the conversation was, if we have skill sets in-house, we're gonna do that instead. So I don't see any value in moving, inspectors to anybody else. And if he's under a different department, I don't remember making that change as well. I'd have to look that up. We'd have to verify that. That's news to me, because I didn't have the plumbing inspector when I was in charge of the water and sewer department. So, all right, everybody's had an opportunity. We can go around again if somebody has any feedback, or if we want to just open it up to we'll go around, I guess.
The only thing I'll say that wasn't communicated was the fact that I sent out a sign-up form for basically people to sign up, or to pick, it was an availability form on Thursday for people to mark their availability so we can sit down and we have a meeting. I didn't really think that it was something that I had to share with the rest of the council, but I did send it to the parties that would be in that meeting, so that's it.
Okay, Moyle?
Should I just, I'll make a motion, let's just change it to the oversight under the electric commissioner.
Hold on, the discussion's got to be complete, so you don't have nothing to add more on that? You're ready to move it even though it's never been, okay. Go back around, McDermott?
Well, there's been a couple times that this council hasn't put people in the right position in doing job duties all the way around. But the electric department should go to the electric, the water should go to the water department. If nothing else, just for an oversight. I understand that everything has to go, that's being paid financially, or everything goes through Austin's chair, but that's just the way I look at it.
Baldridge.
Yeah, you referenced your attempted change of government again. I don't think that it really relates to what's going on here tonight. I believe it comes down to simply, do you have knowledge in the situation or do you not? Like, we had a constituent come to the podium and was talking about stuff, and frankly, we kind of looked stupid. So if we want to continue doing that and not knowing what we're talking about because it didn't fall under this person's department, while you actually have somebody here that maybe knows a little bit about it, I think the choice is obvious. And it doesn't have anything to do with the form of government or anything like that. It's common sense, in my opinion.
What are you referring to the resident? I don't know what you're referring to.
The guy that was building a house, and he came in here and he was talking about things, and really nobody here understood anything. When he was talking about his water and sewer going to his house and how that was gonna affect his time getting it done and everything else that he was talking about that day.
On Watson Avenue.
Yep.
I don't know how that had anything to do with, that was, if we're gonna pay for his utilities, I think, wasn't that the discussion what that was about? Is that what you're talking about, that guy?
In a way, yeah, it was the guy, yes. In a way it had to do with paying for his utilities, but it also in a way it had to do with even understanding what he was talking about.
Okay. So I don't know what you're talking about, the change of form of government, that was not mentioned. When I was talking about our form of government is commissioner form of government. So your skill sets that you have, while it's great if you have a skill set and something like that, it does not dictate what you have to have or know. And again, the conversation that the electric department should have oversight over the electric commissioner just shows me that there's a lack of understanding of what you think the inspectors are in charge of. I have to ask a question because it seems strange that, I'm just gonna ask the question because I seen a motion being made before the discussion was ended. Was this a discussion prior to here that there was, said that no matter what, we're gonna vote to change this?
I can make up whatever decision I want.
Okay,
I
I'm
get so tired of the bullying.
You feel
do.
bullied right now?
I do, but you, all the
Bullying
time,
and
you badger and you're
manipulation,
trying to
come on.
force it
You
through.
feel that I'm bullying you?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
Because I'm asking why, when we're having a discussion going around the room and you went
You
straight to make a
always
motion.
cut us off, and then you always, when you're done and you disagree with something, it's real quick and you want to move on.
I don't cut anybody off.
I guess
Okay.
you have. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I gotta admit.
So I just want to make sure I understand that, and, I mean, if that's what, if somebody's gonna make a motion, they have that right to do so, but I just wanna make it clear that I think there's a misunderstanding of what, especially this coming up on Friday.
Wait, are you mansplaining again?
Oh, no.
Is that what you think's going on here?
And you've said those words to me.
That I'm mansplaining to you?
Yes, in the last closed session.
I said that I'm mansplaining to you.
Don't want to be accused of mansplaining.
I think I said that.
Yes, you're correct, but I do understand when an inspector, that's what you're doing, is you're insinuating that
Okay.
I don't know.
I'd really like to get the ordinance, because I think there was a statement that was made. I don't think I don't, did you look into this? Is the
Plumbing?
commissioner, is the
Plumbing inspector?
the plumbing inspector?
I'm not sure.
I think it's obvious, Jason and Austin don't want it.
Okay.
I'll second her motion or make the motion. We're not gonna sit here going over you telling her 50 times why you don't think we want it, so.
Okay, well, if there's no other further discussion. If someone wants to make a motion, they're more than welcome to make that motion.
I'll make the motion to take the oversight of the building and electrical inspectors.
I'll second.
Do we need to do this via ordinance, because if it says something different in ordinance?
It does have to be done via ordinance.
So what we're really making a motion is to change the ordinance, is that correct?
Is to amend the code, to reflect that the, electric commissioner will have charge of the building and electrical inspectors, if I understand things correctly.
Does it say something in that code about the plumbing inspector?
We don't know at this point, Mac. We think it does, and Rich thinks it's you, he's pretty confident
Well,
in that.
I was
you
to
wanna
understand.
check
that
So
the
still
does the
code?
motion stand
Aaron's
or
gonna go
not?
get-
What- This is
Aaron's gonna
ridiculous.
go
that-
get, Aaron's gonna go get Mac's ordinance, so we can take a look at that.
I
if
don't
you
think
wanna
that was even in question at this point. I made a motion. What is going on here and why are you stalling it?
You can't make a motion to change something without an ordinance
It says
change.
right here, we have possible action. I was authorized then to possibly take action, and the action will be that we're going to change the ordinance.
Okay, so that's, the action is that you're gonna direct the attorney to update the ordinance. Is that correct?
I assume so. What, if not, we just sat here and babbled for 10 minutes for absolutely zero. Like, what?
What I'm saying is, you have to put something on there to modify the ordinance. You can't just say, we're doing this.
Okay, Pat, can you do whatever you have to do
I-
what we
I
wanted to
can,
do and we were
and I
voting
think
here to
The
do?
agenda is sufficient, Jason, to allow this to occur tonight.
To allow it to occur,
Yeah.
without having them,
Without having the word change the ordinance in there yet.
I was under the impression that's why we made that change a while ago, because remember when,
Well, it takes the
Right,
council.
I
agree
to
with
prepare
Pat. I
the
think we can do
ordinance,
it.
but I think the agenda authorizes the council to direct me to change the ordinance, to change
Alright.
the electrical and.
So,
so I got a point of
Building
information.
inspector.
If you remember, back when Terry Udis attempted to take control over the chief of police directly through his thing, we made a modification to the ordinance that we have to direct the attorney to make that. So that way you could never get something modified via ordinance the same night it was introduced, if you remember
Well,
that.
And I think that's what they're doing, is they're directing me to prepare the ordinance to make this change, and we'll take it up at the next meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
So he
Yes.
babbled and changed it and got his little way. This is typical of what you
Do you
do.
not recall that conversation of how we modified the
This
ordinance?
is for inspector oversight. Give me a break. You're talking about firing a police chief and comparing it to inspector oversight, of which nobody here is capable of even understanding a good conversation about any electrical or building codes or anything like that. It's ridiculous, but you get your way, Jason, and you do what you gotta do.
Because
Stall
I'm
it up.
enforcing what we
Stall it
approved.
up, Jason. No, you've been sitting here babbling this entire time, trying your best to change it so that it wouldn't go. It's obvious.
Well, I highly recommend that you look back at the minutes then, because I believe we specifically put that in place.
That has nothing to do with today. This is oversight of an inspector. This isn't firing a police chief. That was about personnel.
It's an ordinance.
can we just take the vote?
All right, I believe the motion is, because I don't think,
To direct the attorney to change the oversight of the building and electrical inspector to the electric commissioner.
I believe that is that accurate? Is that accurate what your motion was?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldrige,
Aye.
Cullinan,
No.
McDermott,
Aye.
Moyle,
Aye.
Curran.
No. Okay. Get it on the agenda next time. All right, item number 11, public comment over any topic. If there's nothing, Move on. 12, Commissioner reports. Commissioner Cullinan.
Yeah, so in my previous commissioner report, I had mentioned that we were going to try and incentivize people to pay their city bill online by waiving the fees that would accompany paying online. We were contacted by Civic Systems recently who informed us that that is it's not possible for us to accept cards online for self-pay, fee-free, while continuing to charge a fee in the office. Because of that, for the time being, we are going to waive the fee to pay via ACH, while Civic Systems works on a solution for cards, which they did tell us that they're working on. While, like I said at the last meeting, we of course love seeing the faces of people in town in the office, it does streamline business in City Hall for us when we have more people make payments online. Second, and last, I am beginning a transition of City Hall to Microsoft 365 products. While email is not much of a concern, although there are some concerns, Microsoft 365 will enable us to make a lot of the work we do a lot more simple and accessible. For instance, the council had put forth a request recently that they have access to building permits that come into City Hall. Through simply moving a currently existing Excel spreadsheet to Excel Online, this suddenly became possible. Additionally, and I have to give her props for bringing this up to me after receiving a call from Angie Partridge, where we discussed a number of things, but where she also specifically suggested a community calendar, I looked into how to make that a possibility. And I spent a lot of time Saturday night doing that. Apparently, it is possible through a tool in Microsoft 365 called Microsoft Power Automate to do this. Essentially, a business or an individual can submit an event form online through Microsoft Forms, and then it can be automatically sent to Power Automate for approval, and following approval, it will automatically upload itself onto a publicly visible calendar, creating a comprehensive list of what's going on in Oglesby, while ensuring administrative oversight without the work of actually having people in City Hall upload the event and then sift through their emails to ensure that we got every event. I'm very interested in what other things we could potentially automate using Microsoft's Power Automate. Whether we can use it for permitting, workflow, FOIA requests, other things, and for anybody that has any kind of expertise in that sort of thing, or anybody that just has any ideas, period, I welcome any suggestions, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Moyle.
All right, I want to announce December's Thank a First Responder, sponsored by Bulldogs Bar and We Are Oglesby. John Lemmer joined the Oglesby Fire Department in March of 2019 and has shown exceptional dedication to serving our community ever since. He has spent countless hours furthering his training, earning certifications such as Instructor 1, Swift Water Rescue Technician, Grain Bin Rescue, and Nicor Gas School, many while also working towards his paramedic license. Just last week, John was honored as Firefighter of the Year by the Oglesby Fire Department, a true testament to his commitment, leadership, and service. We are proud to recognize John for his continued dedication to keeping Oglesby safe.
Thank you. Commissioner McDermott.
Okay. Well, I'd first like to thank all the volunteers and We Are Oglesby for the parade. I know it was cold, but it's always nice to look at the parade. And I would also like to let people know that the wastewater treatment plant is on schedule. The guys down there are doing an excellent job. And the dry bridge, let's hope we can get that done soon.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Baldridge.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I attended a meeting where the participants at We Are Oglesby had suggested to have a parade, and they were frankly laughed at and said that it was impossible and they'd never get it done in that short a time. Well, they did, and that year was a success, and I'd like to congratulate them on their 4th year of successful parades, and they have got it together, and I appreciate it from the city's perspective here that they bring that to our city. I appreciate all their efforts and hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 13, Mayor's Report. Before I get started, I just want to say I continually be surprised. Things still showing up on Friday, the day before a meeting, it's by a surprise to try to get things modified and changed. And I don't care what anybody says here, I could hear it here, and anybody listening, that was decided before we even sat down.
Point of order.
That's not how point of
It
order
is.
works. That's
You're
not a point of
disparaging the
order.
council again, and you're acting like we're doing
This is
something
my
wrong.
report. I can say
I-
whatever I
No,
like.
you
Do
are
you
not gonna
mind?
disparage the council, Jason. That's
Disparage
what a
the
point of
council?
order is.
That's not what a point of
It
order
is. It
Point of
is,
order is something that's
absolutely.
against the proceedings are.
And you're
being
disparaging the
understandable.
council, Jason.
Because I'm saying what I want.
Do you have proof?
I said I feel. That's what I feel. That's what I said.
You've said it 3 times tonight, though.
Great.
Yeah.
Was this first mentioned on Friday?
Who cares? You throw things on there all the time on
Excuse me,
Friday.
I'm talking.
Excuse you, all right.
Excuse me. I believe the draft agenda was put out on Tuesday of the week, and there was updates throughout the week, and this thing showed up on Friday.
I apologize, Jason. I have a full-time job where I work
Okay.
all day.
Great,
So we're not allowed to update on Friday?
okay.
New rule.
And new information came out today. I don't even think we have all the correct facts or something like that. So but it's what it is. So it just continues to surprise me. All right, first thing is, I'd like to thank the Dickens House Foundation for getting, cookies and drinks and putting it on with Santa down there. I thought that was fantastic. I'd like to thank We Are Oglesby for their 4th year in a row of having a successful parade. I know the weather is not, last time I think we had some freezing rain, and this time it was just really bitter cold. So I appreciate not only them pushing through, it looked wonderful, and all the people that came out to celebrate it. And then I'd like to thank all the businesses that supported with it. I think I saw a fantastic Grinch. Whoever was in the Grinch outfit, they did a fantastic job. So really appreciate that. And I'd like to thank all the city employees for all the work that they did to get everything up. I know there had to be some plowing that was done. There was a lot of work to get the city looking good for the event. Second thing is chair yoga resumes next year. There was an unfortunate event to where the instructor's not available. She was gonna be available before the end of the year, but I think they decided just waiting until January. And then I've heard the means that we have for donations, it's actually been working really well. It's been self-sustaining. So maybe that's a thing to think about for more programs that we might wanna have in the city. And then Santa's Magic Box, Magic Mailbox is going to be closed up. The magic will go away on December 17th, which is this Wednesday. So if anybody has letters they want to get out to Santa yet, make sure they get them in there before December 17th. And the last thing I have is just I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And for everybody that maybe celebrates something different, Happy Holidays, and have a great, we'll see you next year. That's all I have. Number 13, executive session for collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning the salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. 5 ILCS 120/2C2, discuss the purchase of lease or lease of real estate. 5 ILCS 120/C5, the employment, compensation, discipline, performance of dismissal of specific employees. 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
No.
Curran.
Aye. There's no planned action after executive session. Thank you, everybody.
You don't get to sit up here and talk bad about us, and then we don't get to rebuttal?
You can do it on your report, I suppose.
You get to go last. I want to go last next meeting.
It doesn't work that way.
Can you guys try to take things to closed session? Because you're the minutes, we don't want them sitting out here.
When the votes are already decided before we sit down.
quit making accusations.
Oh, I'm just too stupid to understand, right?
Okay, people.
Can you find me a thing? I'd like to see what
I'll tell you what.
Probably not a bad idea. Actually, that is super smart. Instead of waiting for everybody to sit down.
You go home?
Yeah, we got bad seats over here, man.
Back in open session, roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Cullinan.
Here.
McDermott.
Here,
Moyle.
Here.
Curran.
Here. Number 14, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Mac, these are yours.
8:50.